Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing, assembling, and reviewing this vintage BP model service station from 1995 that I recently picked up at an estate auction. This thing was pristine. It's still in its original box. The pieces inside the box are unopened and still in their original packaging. One of the things that I like about this particular model is it's not just a single building. It actually contains 4 separate areas. It has the canopy with the pumps beneath it, the shop, the garage, and the car wash, all in one model. All right, without further delay, let's open this thing and see what we got. Now, as you can see, despite this thing being nearly 30 years old, it's in great shape. Everything is still in its packages. Nothing has been opened. It's all completely sealed. If it wasn't for the fact that the box is 1995, this could easily pass as something that is still brand new being produced today. It's been a couple weeks since I actually put this together, but I can remember at about this point in the unboxing that I was thinking, this has got a lot of parts. This is going to be a little bit tough to put together. Well, I was wrong. It wasn't a little hard to put together. It was really hard to put together. Here in a minute, you'll find out why. Why did I choose little baby scissors to try to open this thing with? I have no idea what I was thinking, but I figured out pretty quickly that it was not going to work to open all these packages with these little bitty tiny scissors. So I did fix that, and eventually I got some bigger scissors to work with. I'm going to speed through this next section. It's basically me opening the instructions and then slowly coming to the realization that the instructions are going to be of absolutely no help. These instructions were terrible. According to the instructions, everything should be labeled like pack 1, pack 2, pack 3, and so on, but none of the packs were labeled. None of the individual components were labeled. The only thing that had any kind of labeling on it whatsoever was the stickers. The stickers said pack 1, pack 2, and so on, but instead of them being in pack 1 and pack 2 and pack 3, they were all in the same pack together. Pretty quickly, I realized that the instructions were useless. According to the instructions, each individual part is labeled with either a letter or a number, which helps to figure out where those parts go. But in reality, nothing was labeled. Not a single part had any kind of number or letter on them. To make matters worse, the real parts didn't always look like the diagram on the instructions. Eventually, I just abandoned the instructions altogether and decided to go at this like a jigsaw puzzle. For the most part, it worked, but the process wasn't completely flawless. I did put a couple stickers on incorrectly, and I did put a couple walls on upside down. But in the end, it all turned out okay. After I decided not to use the instructions and I tossed those useless things to the side, I took the original box that everything came in, I flipped it around to the back where it had pictures, and I basically used those pictures as a guide to where parts went and stickers went, and it worked out okay. The first picture on the box was the fuel pumps with the canopy, so I figured that's a good place to start. It actually wasn't terribly difficult. If you've ever been to a fueling station, you kind of have an idea of how the fuel pumps look. The stickers are really small, so they were a bit difficult to get into place without them being crooked, but it wasn't terribly hard. I was starting to get a little aggravated with the small, tedious stickers, so I decided to take a break from the pumps and move on to the base. Besides, I probably need to have the base done first before I can put anything else together. Now I'm trying to figure out how this car wash goes together. It was pretty obvious where the foam roller was supposed to go, but it took a little bit of time to figure out exactly how to put it in there. Like I said earlier, this thing was actually in really, really good shape to be nearly 30 years old. When I first saw this foam roller, I seriously thought that it would be old and brittle, but it wasn't. It was actually very soft and felt like it was brand new. Now it's time to add a roof to both of the buildings. So I've got the roof, but it doesn't look like any of the pictures on the boxes, and it doesn't look like any of the pictures in the instructions. It doesn't snap into place, and it just leaves the buildings wobbly. It wasn't until quite a bit later that I realized what the issue was. I put the roof on upside down. I was just assuming that the little tab that is on the top was where the sign would go. And it does, but it is under the roof, not on top of the roof. All right, I'm gonna let this play out for a little bit now, but I tell you what, I was really struggling trying to figure out how to put this toy together. Like I said earlier in the video, I picked up this service station from an online estate auction. Counting taxes and fees, it cost me $20.99 US dollars. It is just a small portion of what I bought on the auction. In all, counting taxes and fees, I spent $430.25. But in addition to the service station, I picked up about 500 die-cast cars. All of the cars are vintage and are unopened. Most are from the 1990s. There are a few from the 2000s and a couple from the 80s. There were a ton of Hot Wheels cars, Matchbox, Johnny Lightning, Racing Champions, and a few other brands. I recently went through and valued all of the cars that I picked up, and even though I paid $430.25, that was a bargain. I'm working on a future video to show everything that I picked up at the auction, but there are so many that it's taking a while. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. That way you can see when that video comes out. Okay, let's get back to the service station. I'm at the point now where I realized that I didn't put the roof together correctly, and that's why the buildings were so wobbly and unstable. Now that I've figured that out, I had to peel the stickers back off and reapply them in the correct positions. It wasn't too difficult to get the stickers back off and reapply them, but even if I couldn't, there were extra stickers. I suppose the manufacturer assumed that people would mess up on the stickers, so they put extra in there. But my thought is this: instead of extra stickers, if they just simply spent more time on good instructions, extra stickers wouldn't be needed anyhow. We've got this thing almost completely assembled. Are you ready for the final product? Here it comes. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.